Hi, Sahib. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for taking this time to help us with this research today. So, my name is Arijit, and I'm accompanied by my team members Gauri and Ujjwal. We are conducting this research for our principles of and user research methods class for our course at ID. We want to understand from you some of your experiences traveling in India. We'll be asking some questions which are general to better understand some of your travel stories and preferences, and then move to specific questions related to our clients. This interview is being recorded, and are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All the answers we will be providing will be used for this research and will be kept confidential. Uh, and thanks for sharing the signed consent form. So to start off, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? Where you are from?
I'm from New Delhi, India, and like, should I talk about why I use like the train or just about
No,
my?
just tell us something about yourself, like the intro. So,
I'm studying in like I'm in the foundation course at ID, and I'm 23 years old. And before this, I was for my undergrad, I was doing mechanical engineering. Yeah, and in my
okay,
free time, I like playing basketball, but since it's COVID, so I can't,
yeah,
which really sucks. Yeah.
yeah, same for COVID is sucking for a lot of. Uh, so, do you like traveling?
Yeah. I have traveled to I guess 4 or 5 different states in India, but mostly to Himachal Pradesh and yeah,
All right. And is there some place you are looking forward to visit after this pandemic?
Goa and
Goa.
Chicago.
Yeah, right. We are all looking forward to Chicago.
Yeah.
Uh, could you so could you tell us something about your planning process when you are going for a trip? Like if you're doing it, if you do it singly, then you can go from there, or if you do it with your family, you can tell us about
Uh,
that also.
I'm I'm going to go with my school friends, and we might either go by car, like by our own vehicle, or by flight.
Okay, and this you do it for the earlier travels also.
So whenever I used to travel earlier, like I didn't use the railways because it's really shitty, and it's more about not maintaining any any hygiene inside of the compartment, and like there are the toilets are really they are really dirty, and the trains are also late sometimes, and plus you have to share one, like, so in one compartment there are like 50 or 100 people, which makes it really suffocating in a way, like there's no personal space for you, and most of the
Okay.
times if you are sharing like a bunk with another person, like you might not be comfortable enough because there are varieties of many different people that travel through the railways. So yeah, so
Hmm.
I don't prefer using the trains, but for within the city, I really liked using the metro because that was efficient, and yeah, it was even clean and safe. Yeah.
Okay. So these are some of your highlights. I think clean and staying on time is something you like to have when you're
Yeah,
traveling.
and
Uh,
and basic toilets like
yeah. So anything extra which you find useful when you're traveling?
can you repeat that, like
I
anything?
mean, anything Anything else in your consideration when you are traveling?
Um, like the distance, because if I'm traveling intercity, like in Delhi, so I would rather not travel shorter distances through the metro, because like it doesn't save me a lot of time, and it's still as expensive as any other thing that is
Hmm.
available. But for longer durations, like if I'm going somewhere far, um so it's really faster. Like it's faster than traveling by my own car. And it's not as cheap, but it's relatively cheaper, like not, but not that much. Yeah.
Okay.
And also,
And
it's easier to actually, if I'm traveling at night, I can probably get a seat, so I can
hmm.
sit and maybe sleep for a bit, or do something. But like if I'm traveling by my car, I have to actually drive, and yeah, I
Okay.
would rather not do that. Yeah.
And for the longer travels, so you, what mode of travel do you prefer?
For longer,
Like,
in Delhi, like I used to go by the metro, and then probably the
no, I mean interstate.
okay. I prefer flights, or maybe by my own car. Like if it's not that far away, and I can probably, you know, stay for a bit at some place in between. So I would
Okay.
prefer my car over a train or a flight.
All right.
It actually depends on the time that I have for the trip. So whenever I used to go to Himachal, like it was mostly by bus, and there are flights as well, but the flights were really expensive, and
Hmm.
it's like 25 times more expensive than the bus.
All right.
Yeah, but the bus used to take 16 hours to get me there.
Hmm. And how do you book the ticket? What what kind of medium do you use? Physical or online?
No, I used to use there's this app, uh, make my trip, uh
Yeah,
or
make my trip is
yeah, there's make trip, and then there's Paytm as well, like and Red Bus. So it's you
okay.
can just book a bus from there. Yeah.
All right. And before booking the ticket, do you have any important considerations while you are
Uh,
booking the ticket?
yeah, the location of the seat. So I would rather have, I always prefer the middle, like the seats in the middle, or in the front, not at the back, because there's not enough ventilation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And this long distance travel method of like bus and car, uh, does it satisfy you completely, or do
um,
you still
Not
have
the
issues
bus,
with it?
like not while traveling the bus, because sometimes the driver is really, he's driving rashly. And I I was actually, one time I was about to die, because the
Hmm.
bus would have fallen down into the valley, like, yeah. And I mean, there was this much space between the valley, like the edge of the road and the bus. So
Okay.
yeah. So it's not as satisfying as traveling by my own car. And plus, if I travel by my own car, I can actually, it's a more personal experience, because there are only friends inside the car, like no stranger, because that would be
Okay.
weird as well. Like, so yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for this. Now we'll be moving to like your day-to-day commute and those kind of things. So you mostly move in the metros for your day-to-day commute.
Yeah.
All right. And it, can you tell us why that is your preferred medium compared to say?
Arijit, your voice is very low. Like, can
Okay,
you?
sorry.
Yeah, it's better
Let
now.
okay. So I was saying, compared to the when you talk about this metro, uh, how does it compare to cabs, your personal vehicle, and all kind of shared public
Okay.
transportation?
So, I have traveled in the local DTC bus, like the state-run bus. So, it's it actually varies. So there are two buses that run in Delhi. One is AC and one is non-AC. So in the AC bus, you can actually find a seat and it's quite comfortable. But in the non-AC bus, there are not a lot of seats, and you have to go standing, and it's very yeah. Sorry, I was getting a call. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's kind of packed up, and if um, if I talk about Uber, like Uber is nice, but I really loved their new service. So they have started this bike sharing service. So you can actually take a bike from A to B, and that is very cheap. So before COVID, I actually shifted to that. Like I didn't use the cars. I was using the bikes. But
Hmm.
even the cars, like they're pretty nice. Like it's not um, an A grade service, but the drivers are. I find that most of the drivers are misogynist, and this is like my personal experience because I don't know why they always have to start talking about that and where it comes from. I really don't know, but that's the um like the majority of drivers that I found, and
Okay.
yeah, at night, like, and that was very weird because that's the time when you don't want a sexist or a person who hates your gender to actually drive you around. And but I mean, I am a male, so most of them were polite to me. But I have known, my friends have had experiences where the drivers were really rude for no apparent reason other than them being females. And
Okay.
yeah, um, yeah, that's all.
All right. Yeah. So uh, I think you have already answered my next question, so I'll be skipping that. For the longer travels, do you have any sort of memorable items or like memorabilia that you can share with us, like some photograph of it? You can do this later if you don't have it right now, or
Um,
you can.
like during the journey, like um,
Not during the journey, say somewhere you traveled and you bought something.
okay, I'll find something. I might have, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. And looking back in the longer journeys, looking back in the transport and commute, do you have any particular experience that you do differently if you had a chance?
Um, I would not take a bus now, like because I mean it's just more comfortable for me to actually drive rather than taking yeah a bus because
Okay.
sometimes like when you're traveling to the hills people they feel nauseated and then they the rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the seats are kind of not that comfortable as well, especially for someone like me who's 6'3", like yeah, so
Hmm.
there's not a
Yeah.
lot leg room, yeah.
Okay. Now, coming to Indian Railways, do you remember any last travel experience in train?
Yeah. So I was traveling to Jammu with my family. So there's this religious place, Vaishno Devi. Yeah. So we used to
Hmm.
go there every year, and it was a fun experience. But as a child, the part that I didn't like was um, like since we were 7 to 8 people that were traveling together, so we kind of had our own personal space. So that was really nice. And but the part that I didn't like was first the food, which um, they have actually worked on it. Like it's decent now, but earlier it wasn't. And the toilets, like the washrooms, are still they are not at all clean and hygienic. Yeah. Other than that, like it's probably every time it's just the same experience. I sit on my chair or wherever my seat is, and I just kind of watch a movie or read a book the whole time I'm traveling, because
All right.
there's not a lot of things that I could actually do other than that, like, or maybe talk to my friend or my family. But
Hmm.
it's not, it's a very boring experience after probably say 2 hours into the journey. Yeah.
And have you ever booked tickets, the train tickets at the railway station ticket counter?
um I have like it was.
And
Yeah.
the digital medium?
So every time I logged on to IRCTC, like the website, I don't know, for some weird reason I couldn't get through. So after say like trying for 1 hour or 2 hour, I would eventually tell my friend to do it, because he had an account and I wasn't able to actually sign up to the website.
Oh,
So yeah. And even after that, like the last time that I traveled with my friend, it was not a long journey. Like it was like something 6 hours or so. So he wasn't able to book the tickets for probably like 3 hours. And I mean, he also doesn't know the reason. It just kept on showing some error. And yeah,
hmm.
digital experience is really, really shitty. Like it's not at all good.
Okay. Yeah, we have heard this one a lot of times. Uh, so, have you ever used the app? I think you have told about the website.
Um, I downloaded it, but I didn't use it. I always use the website.
Okay, all right. So, if you have the app, I'd like to uh, do this task scenario
Mhm.
where you will be logging in into the app, uh, then going through like a basic process of booking
Mhm.
a ticket. Maybe go till the payment stage, but then quit before that. And also, it has got a meal booking section. So
Yeah.
try if you can see what kind of things they offer over there.
So I have
So
to I have to book a ticket and select the meal.
yeah,
Okay.
so these two tasks, and as you go, you can keep talking about what you are seeing on the screen, what you feel is happening, what you think
Okay.
you will be doing next. So like
So,
think aloud things while
mhm.
you are going through the app. It will be good if you can screen share at this moment. Uh,
Yeah.
you'll
Okay.
be able to see what you are doing,
Um.
and you can turn off your camera uh, while you are using your phone.
Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Um, you can
Yeah.
keep talking while you are seeing the options and
So
whatever you.
So I
when you
see
are going to
that
book.
my journey, my bookings, PNR inquiry, cancel ticket, and book a meal. I don't know what
Hmm.
IMUR is and what the ask Disha is, and why there is like a Z5 something, this icon. I
Hmm.
don't know why there is something like this on my screen because it's totally out of context. I just want to book my ticket, and
Yeah.
I'll I'll just select New Delhi, and this ad is really distracting. Like, because
Yep.
why is there an ad like when this is a government run? You know, this is run by the
Absolutely.
government, made by the government. So why am I getting advertisement? Like,
Yeah. Absolutely.
okay, so I don't see any. Uh, this is the part which confuses me. Like, you know, uh,
Can you tell us what confuses you?
like there are so many trains and especially this like advertisements in between, and also I just want to like there should be something I should it should be a preset for me, like I don't want all these trains like from Pune, Toronto, or Mangla. There are a lot of options to choose from, and I
Hmm.
just want a nice enough train to travel, which is probably um, there are only two trains which are actually good enough. So one is a Shatabdi and the other one is Rajdhani. So it should. I mean, I just want to look at those, not all these options. So
Okay.
and now
So
I
you'd
really
like
don't know
to
which
filter
train
those
should
options.
I, which train is actually good and which train is like not so good.
All right.
Mm,
So you think some sort of user review or rating would be nice in this case,
yeah, probably a user review or a preset, like so maybe they show
or a
me
filter?
those. Yeah, there are filters, but as you can see, all of them are checked, like, but
Yeah.
and I don't even know what special trains mean, like, and what is
Hmm.
others, like what comes under others.
Yeah.
Something which I liked is like this time that they have, you can filter by time, so that is really nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm just going to pick the first one, and now, yeah, and I should be able to book my ticket without actually logging in. So maybe if I just, because at the end of the day, I just the all the information can be sent to my like to my phone, right? Like to my just by an SMS, they can send me all the details or the ticket that I have or anything else. Like just as when you book or when you buy something from an e-commerce website, like
Hmm.
you can probably check out as a guest. So
Yeah.
because most of my problems arise when I have to register or sign in. That's where the system fails for me.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we can just skip that part, because like they're already asking me for my OTP. Like you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
so
Got you.
do you want me to
Uh,
sign in?
yeah, I think you'll have to sign in to get go to the next process. You can use
Uh,
your mock. IDs which
So
are
can
provided
you
to you.
tell me that real quick because I'll have to
Okay.
open my WhatsApp.
Yeah, sure, sure. Uh, so the login ID is in small UX test
UX,
test
H or S.
S
Okay.
UX test uh, UX then TEST.
Arijit, your voice is like, it's really low. It's muffled. So I mean,
Don't know
can
what's happening. Yeah, okay. I'll go
UX
through my
test.
okay, okay, perfect. UX test,
0
yeah.
and password is capital R, then random 123 with just capital R. Yeah.
Which pin?
This you can just fill in something of your own.
Okay. What? Wait, what?
I think there was a glitch.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I don't know what my pin was.
Um, just put 4 zeros and
Bruh.
just put 4 zeros later on.
No, like it's asking me for the pin that I had put in, and I don't know what it was, and it's not letting me delete. And
Oh,
every
you
time
can't.
I try to delete, like it's it just
Oh no.
stops video sharing, and then
Okay, at this stage, put the pen off while we are not in screen recording and see if it works.
no, it's not going to work because it's not letting me delete the pin that I had put in earlier. So like I don't know, man. This is the perfect, scenario for you guys.
Yeah,
uh, okay, so I think I will have to log out.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so I have to do the whole thing again, which is amazing. How
How do you feel about the capture?
No comments. It's the same as my experience right now.
Okay. Saib, you can keep talking whatever you are feeling or seeing.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Um, so I guess I'm about to book my ticket, but yeah, so I can add. more passengers. But wait, like,
Yeah.
isn't this in wait list? Like, because it's showing, it's saying on the top right that this is waitlisted. So why,
Hmm.
like, why wasn't I? It's like so small and kind of hidden. So
Yep.
uh, it should have told me this earlier, like, or maybe it did, and you know, I kind of didn't see it. But that's not my fault because I'm the user.
Of course.
And especially this, like, what if, like, what do you mean by side lower? Is it on the left side or the right side? Because if it's the first berth in the in the compartment,
Hmm.
so on the left side means that I will be closer to the door, and every time the door opens, maybe I am disturbed every time the door opens. But if it's on the right hand side, then I'm away from the door, and I'm not disturbed as much.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you mean by side lower and side upper? And also there are there are these small bunks on the when you enter the compartment. There are these small bunks on the right hand side, which are
Hmm.
which have the window, which are on the window side. So what about those? Like, because I don't see an option for those, like booking those.
Yep.
Hmm. And also, like, I would, if since it's COVID now, and not a lot of people are traveling through the trains,
Hmm.
I would rather book a a berth where where I am the only one, and, like, not if not that I don't want company or something like that. Company is good, but, like, um I need some privacy as well. So I would rather want that I'm the only person in those, like, four or five birds. Like, I'm the only one, and I don't know if this allows me to do that. Like, I guess this is something which is random, so it
Yeah.
just kind randomly assigns me a seat based on my preference. But if if it like since it's COVID and not a lot of people are traveling, so I can actually get a place or a seat where I'm the only one.
Hmm. Yep.
I'll just choose side lower, and I don't even see the price. Like, even even at the bottom, it's like convenience fee. I know the convenience fee, but I don't know the actual price.
Yep.
And what if I don't want the government to know where where exactly I'm traveling to? So they're asking me for my destination address, like, but what if I don't want to tell them my destination address? And
Hmm.
what if I just, so I'll just put in some random address, and they won't know that it's random, right?
Yeah.
So why even
You
ask me?
can. This is something they have put for COVID.
It doesn't even make sense, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
and, like, there is no visual hierarchy. So the font size is actually the same throughout the page, which is actually weird. And also the, like, the bright, like the the contrast, like it's just so at the top, Golden Temple is in the same font size but bold, and below that it's like, it's just regular font.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
no real hierarchy, especially with this advertisement at the bottom. It just looks very unorganized and hard to actually read, because it's like everything is just staring at in your face, like all at once. So
Yeah.
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 So this is like, I should I do the meal one now, because next step is
Uh,
proceed to pay.
no. The next step, you can go to the next step. You can exit right before you pay. So like till the card payment option, you can go to that.
Okay. Okay, so I have to enter another captcha. Where is the captcha? Okay, so I thought that this was the advertisement, but this is not an advertisement. This is actually something relating to the train, but the text inside, the text is so small that it's not even readable. Like I can't even read that.
Yep.
And for me, it's easier to, find something on the screen, but like I feel that for maybe someone who's a little older, which is like a lot of people who are old traveled through trains, like it would be very easy to actually, figure out where the captcha is. I
Mm,
do that
yeah.
when like I can't even read what's written in it. Like, okay, so there's another ad which I don't want to see. Like, wait, so like if I select Paytm, like what is Visa, Mastercard, and RuPay doing next to Paytm? Or because
Yeah.
like even below that, like it's the same. There is a wallet, and then there is Visa, Mastercard, RuPay. Why not like just have, you know uh, a different option for cards and one for Paytm, MobiQuick, and the different wallets that we have? Why not just do
Yeah.
that, like the rest of the sites do? And even with the
Yeah.
banks, so only when I have an HDFC or an ICICI, or only these four bank accounts, only then am I able to use these cards? Or like what happens if I select Paytm and then choose my own card, which belongs to a different bank account but is a Visa, a debit card, or a credit card? Am I able to use it then? I don't know. So I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it just takes me to my Paytm. Okay, so if I go to Paytm, I can actually check the debit card, right? Like, but why even do this? Like, it just adds one more step to my whole, to the whole process. They could have
Hmm.
easily made one another option just for cards, like everyone else
Yeah.
does. But
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you have completed this process, so you
yeah,
can move to the next task. Yeah.
so I have to book a meal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think this they have stopped this service.
I would even need a PNR number for booking a meal.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I don't have that. Like,
Yeah, I think then you can stop here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for this. Um, so now that you went through the app, what worked well for you and what
Nothing.
did you find?
Nothing. It's just a shitty experience. Like I won't even. That's why I don't book through IRCT, and I have my friend do it for me, or someone who actually has an account already signed in. So only then, or probably I tell my dad because I don't know. He has the patience to actually go through all this process. I don't know
Okay.
how anyone can actually go through this process. Like especially someone who's not as educated as I am or not as well versed with technology because it's so confusing. Like, and there are a lot of redundant steps, like, which don't even add something meaningful. So,
Yeah, totally. Uh, so yeah, I think you will answer the same about the user interface. Uh, so I'll skip that. So now that you have used the app, what features would you like to add?
um, so something which can make me skip the login. So maybe I just enter my Aadhaar number or my phone number because all the phones are now connected to Aadhaar. So probably
Yeah.
something like that. So I don't have to actually sign up for something, and they can
Hmm.
maybe email me my tickets or maybe send me a text message which shares a link to my tickets, something like that. That would be really helpful, and like the the whole process of booking a ticket, it can become much more easier for me if I already know if the application actually knows, like, but that is only when I have signed up and booked a ticket. But it's like helpful if the app actually remembers what my choices were. So maybe
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a person that travels through Shatabdi, and I always take the midnight train, and I like a certain type of berth. So, and maybe I want some company, or maybe I want some privacy. So I can have options for that, and the system can decide on its own how to place me inside the train, and
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. And
Hmm.
uh, if I have to book a meal, why have a separate option for that? Why not add sometime during the process, like why not add an option, just book a meal, so that I don't have to
Yeah.
remember my PNR or get my PNR the next time I have to book a meal. The system already knows that this is my
Yeah.
train, this is the seat number, and what I like. Yeah. and
Absolutely.
and at the end, like the payments, it was really confusing for me to actually understand how to pay for my ticket, which is like,
Yeah.
it's just weird. And the only thing that works for IRCTC is that you know it's the only uh, thing that is out there. So yeah, it's like run by the government, made by the government, and like all the trains are run by the government, like. So yeah.
Yeah. So those are great points. We'll be certainly looking on them when we are
Mhm.
mentioning our inferences. Uh, so about the time, how much would you think you would spend on this planning, this journey to booking your ticket while on the app?
uh, I am someone who likes to you know not plan when I'm traveling. I like to keep it very like unorganized, because I feel that I'm going to a new place to explore, and I don't have to choose everything before I go. Like, so, it's usually for me that most of my time is spent on actually confirming who all are joining me on the trip, and then it's just on maybe the last day or a couple of days back I book the tickets. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. And on the app, how much time do you think you'll like to spend while booking the ticket?
probably 5 minutes, like not more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, thank you. So now comes the next stage, which is the card sorting. So this will be an interactive exercise in which we will use Miro to uh, do this exercise.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have been discussing what features you would like to add to the app and what ticket booking process currently looks like. So we have some questions that we'd like you
yeah,
to answer while using this card. And uh, while on the board, there will be cards with some categories like core, secondary, and
mhm.
tertiary processes, and
Okay.
you can put them in order whatever you like. Um, so I'll be going to the Miro board now
Yeah.
and sharing my screen.
Can you share it with me as well? Like add me to the board.
Okay, yeah. Uh, I'm sending you the link on Zoom.
Not on Zoom, Arijit. You can share the board with me. Like just
Oh, yeah, yeah.
my name. Like click on share, and like you can just type in my name and it shows the email ID.
Uh,
Yeah.
um, Gauri, I think you'll have to do this because I'm not the board editor. Otherwise, I can share the link on email.
Yeah, you can even if you do that, like it works.
Yeah.
Where is the share button on the screen? I don't see it.
Um, yeah, I've shared the link with you, Sahib, on email. Is the link opening?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you are here.
Yeah. So what do I have to do?
Yeah. So
So um,
I'll be
yeah.
sharing my screen first. Mm, Gauri, are we recording this? Okay. So this is the card sorting, and here are the group of feature cards which we
Yeah.
have got.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go through all the cards and then put them in the order of primary, secondary, and tertiary.
Okay.
What is Yeah? You can even prioritize the most needed features up on the
Okay.
top, and then yeah.
Yeah, done.
Okay. Um, so would you like to tell us why have you used this order, or why have you put these cards in primary, secondary, and tertiary?
Um, yeah, so as I said, like for me, the status of the train was like during the booking process, it actually became um, visible to me at the end of, like towards the end and not, in the start. So
Hmm.
I would want to see how, if the train is behind or how many seats are left. And
Okay.
then obviously the sign up process is really like it takes a lot of time. So I would rather not sign up
Hmm.
and have, book my ticket. So yeah, and then choosing a meal is it's important. Like I would have, I would want to have a decent meal. And if I heard that they have added third party food, yeah. So
Yeah.
if something like Pizza Hut or KFC or McDonald's is available on my train, I would really want to have that and know it beforehand, so that
Hmm.
for the journey I don't pack something. Or yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then selection of coach and berth, because it's kind of lower, like on the lower side of my priority list, because um I guess after this pandemic is over and when we return to a normal, like whatever that means, I feel that I won't have an option to actually select my coach and my berth, because there are a lot of people traveling by trains. So it's kind of like if I get it, it's really nice. But if I don't, I can do without it. Yeah. And
Okay.
then obviously cashback offers or discounts, like I would want to know about them, and auto upgradation. Maybe even at the like at the railway station, if there is an option available, there's some notification that would you like to be upgraded, or there's some opening, and if you pay maybe 100 rupees more or 50 rupees more for that seat, we can give it to you. Because
Yeah.
if I don't take it, it's going to go empty. Like yeah, so some an option like that would be really nice. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not a fan of chatbots, but like for mechanical process, like so maybe I want to check my PNR status, or actually um, there's some minor complaint that or maybe some error that I'm facing. So a chatbot is kind of helpful in that. But I've noticed that the chatbot actually asks me for all the details about my problem, and when
Hmm.
it actually connects me to a human being, like to a customer service representative, like that guy doesn't know what my problem is, and I have to explain everything again.
Yeah.
So that's what my experience has been like with chatbots. So
Hmm.
yeah, and booking a hotel, like I don't like to book hotels before, because it's expensive that way. Like, and if I just go there and talk directly to the person or the manager, like it's cheaper for me. Yeah.
Okay.
And language options other than English, like I don't know any other language other than English and Hindi, and I can't really read Hindi that well. So
Okay.
would want that, yeah. And again, with tourist sightseeing, like I'm not a person who plans my travel. Like I like to keep it open. So yeah,
Hmm. And for the secondary process, wake up
uh,
call before reaching destination, like
that'd
primary.
be nice, because there has been a couple of times when I was about to miss my train
Hmm.
because I was late or I didn't wake up on time. And maybe if something, so even after that, like this one time, we were late, but the Uber that we had booked the previous night, like the guy canceled at the very last moment. So if if there is something through the application that maybe connects me to a person, who is maybe connects me to Uber or something like that, like it would be really helpful, yeah.
Okay.
Because then like the the train knows, like the system can actually know, from where I'm traveling. So maybe from
Hmm.
my house to the train station, it takes probably like 40 minutes, right? And so and I need to get there 1 hour or maybe 30 minutes before the train comes. So maybe
Hmm.
the system can actually automatically book my Uber for me, and just at the last moment ask me for confirmation. So hey, there's this Uber which takes you from your home or wherever you are to the railway station, and it costs this much, and this is the time that you will reach, and this is the time, um, before before the train actually arrives. So maybe say 30 minutes before the train arrives. So yeah, if it's kind of, it has to be seamless for me, so that I don't actually realize that I am booking a cab. Something which
Hmm.
which also Google Map does really well. So I can actually book an Uber like from Google Maps, and I
Yeah.
don't have to put in the location again and again. So
Hmm.
something like
Yeah.
that would be really nice. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, thanks.
one more thing, like especially in group settings. So if I'm traveling with my friend, so maybe we can pool the same Uber, and that way, we save money, and I mean there is less emissions. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a nice idea. Hmm. So I think uh, this is done, and thank you for going through this card sorting process. I think this was very helpful, and some of your points are really something which we face every day, and could be some potential solutions for a better user experience. So we'll be now moving back to our discussion, and actually I'm going to end it now. So thank you for so much for your time and answering our questions going through this Miro card sorting process. But before we end the meeting, anything else that you have on the top of your mind that you think can help Indian Railways to offer better user experience?
Mm, um,
Or
I I would like, it would be really nice if they did something for a person who doesn't live in India. Like, so let's say a foreigner. So if there is a system where, so like if the app actually can tell me where to go, because as an outsider, or as a person who doesn't live here, like I would want to see the places, the popular places. So I would want the app to actually tell me where I can go, and maybe provide me a way to actually reach there. And
hmm,
yeah, so it would be really nice, because I guess Delhi Metro has also it's not similar to this, but it you can relate it. So Delhi Metro has end-to-end connectivity, and they have partnered with Uber and Ola, so that
yeah,
at the last stations, cabs are more easily available. So something
hmm,
like that. And especially I've seen that, like whenever you exit from a train and come outside, and there's this I mean, there's this rush of people, people are just rushing towards you because they want
Mm,
you to take their cab and not someone else's cab. And it gets very irritating because,
yeah,
I mean, most of them don't have any regard for your personal space. Like they just kind of, they're in your face all the time. And
yeah,
especially with foreigners, and they try to loot you. Like they want to charge you extra. They want to kind of scam you. And whenever I travel, like m- the hotel that I'm going to stay at is mostly recommended by my cab driver, and it
mm,
can be something which is which is his personal preference or which he's being paid for, to talk
yeah,
to the yeah. So if something like that is available beforehand for someone who is an international, foreigner, yeah, so that would be really nice.
well, good point. So yeah, thanks again. This was great.
Yeah,
So we'll be ending the meeting now.
yeah.
Or you can stop the recording.